Hello and welcome to day one of your pregnancy mini challenge. So today we're going to look at, as you may have seen by the title of the email, the biggest concern that came up by pretty much all mums, and that is my baby okay? I could certainly vouch for that. I think it is something that probably every single mum worries about, and the first thing to know is that it is completely normal. We are mums after all. And it's completely normal and probably something that's never going to go away. There's going to be an element of worry as to whether our children are okay. So the first thing to know, if you are worrying, about your pregnancy, about the health of your baby, is that you're not alone in that. However, there is a difference between just having, the odd concern now and then and just some natural worry. And that there's a big distinction between that and obviously the other end of the scale where you're actually worrying sort of, I suppose, to an unhealthy level. So I guess the first thing that would be really good to know is on a scale of 0 to 10, if 0 was that you're absolutely fine about your baby, about the health of your baby, you have absolutely no concerns at all, it hasn't actually even crossed your mind, which would be brilliant. If that were a 0, or a 10 was that you're feeling that you're crippled by ongoing concerns about the health of your baby, it's on your mind consistently and it's really causing you stress. Whereabouts on that scale would you rate yourself? And it'd be really great if you could pop that into the comments just to get an idea, and maybe if you did want to say, what some of these concerns are due to as well, you could, but otherwise just put one down there because it would be really interesting to see kind of the range where everybody's at, because what you can do then with your mind techniques is continue to ask yourself that question and see whether or not you're moving along that scale. And it's a really good way of being able to self-evaluate, whether or not you're kind of progressing, I suppose, in the objective of becoming more relaxed and calm. So pop your answers in the comment box. And so great. So we've said it's normal to have an element of that, but what can we do? And the way that I work is I think pretty much with anything in life, and with this as well, I try to categorize things into what I can control, what I can influence, and what I need to accept. And I think that pretty much works with anything. And so for this, what we're going to do is home in on that exactly. And if you can focus your mindset and almost distract your mind into the things that you can control and that you can influence, that's a great way of taking your mind away from those concerns, away from those worries, and then learning to think about the things that you just need to accept. So accept that your body is in charge of building your baby and the health of your baby. But in saying that, there's a lot that you can do to control and influence the health of your baby and to ensure that you have a great, healthy pregnancy. So hopefully you've had a look at the worksheet, which will be the sort of the guiding point for this, and it's working on a conscious level initially, because what we're going to do is, and actually there's two ways that you can do this with the worksheet. The first way that you can do it is look through that, and you'll see that there's a category for health, sort of health and fitness. So specifically you could think about your diet. So what are you eating? Presumably there's things that you've had to cut out of your diet, or things that you've had to start taking. You need to be drinking more water, cutting out alcohol, caffeine, things like that. So that is something that you're doing that is very much in your control and that is influencing a healthy pregnancy for your baby. So that's something that could go on the list, and you could get quite specific about that. You could just go as far as saying a healthy diet, or you could actually write down what you're actually doing within your diet. And that's just a good way, especially writing it down. And then the key to all of this is writing things down, because the difference between having something in your mind to actually writing it down is that you've made sort of a conscious effort to actually offload things from your mind. So even when you're really worried about things, writing things down is a great technique. That in itself is a tip. So that's your diet. The physical side of things, I'm not suggesting you start running marathons. The general rule of thumb is not to really do anything that you weren't doing before you were pregnant. So in saying that, it's good to have some light exercise. It's really good for your breathing, the more oxygen you can get, etc. So if you're somebody like myself who wasn't really much of an exerciser, there's things that you can do like pregnancy yoga, and actually I would recommend anybody do pregnancy yoga. It's such a great thing to do, because not only is it some you time, some time away from everything to relax. It focuses on breathing. Obviously, breathing brings lots of oxygen into the body, lots of endorphins. It's great for you, great for baby. As you may know, endorphins act as a pain relief. So when we get to talk about kind of birthing, breathing is all about that. So if you're getting used to those breathing techniques in pregnancy yoga, it's fantastic. Obviously, it's great for your posture. And in this day and age, our lives have meant that we're not really prepared physically like we used to be for giving birth to our babies, and pregnancy yoga works on some of that and some positions so that your body is in a much better shape and much more prepared. You wouldn't run a marathon without any preparation, so why would we give birth without doing some form of prep? So pregnancy yoga would be my top tip if you're not doing any kind of form of exercise at the moment. So that's kind of your body side of things. Obviously, something else that you can control is your medical appointments, making sure you're keeping up to date with all of those, making sure you're following all the advice you're being given by the medics in terms of having the best pregnancy. You know, if you've been asked to take any supplementary vitamins or anything like that, making sure you're taking them. Again, that's something within your control, and it's something that's influencing the healthy development of your baby. And very, very importantly, and not to be forgotten, your mindset and your stress level. So if you are stressed about whatever, just find ways each day to just calm yourself and to find some time to relax and have some time for yourself. So a great way of doing that is, even if you can just find 5 or 10 minutes at the end of each day, just to maybe do a relaxation meditation. It's nothing like woo-woo or weird. It's just a way of focusing in on yourself, again, of getting some great breathing. So there's so many meditations that you can do. This is kind of what the premise of mindfulness is. A great one is just to literally just sit somewhere comfortably, close your eyes, and just focus on your breathing. Try and not think about anything else, just focusing on your breathing, and on from the perspective of all of the different senses. So the temperature of the air as you inhale and exhale, any sounds that you might make, any sounds that you might hear around you, any tastes in your mouth, and just basically just spending those 5 or 10 minutes just focusing in on that moment. And that in itself is really relaxing. It will bring your blood pressure down. Again, those endorphins will be flowing, and it's just a great thing to get used to, because when you have your baby, it's really useful to have that time out for yourself as well. If you start practicing these things now, it'll make it much easier once you're into a routine of it to fit it into your busy schedule with your baby than it will be to start doing it then. So reducing your stress levels in any way possible is definitely key. And then it's just the things that you need to accept. And what you need to accept is that your body is in charge of developing your baby, and you need to trust your body. You need to accept that the kind of intricacies of how your baby is developing is out of your control, and trust in your body. And that's why I've put just 3 very powerful affirmations for you to see every day. And you may well have more of your own. If you have more, fantastic. Get some post-it notes, put them up all over the place, because the more that you can see these things, they will go in, and your mind will start to believe the things that it's seeing, and especially if it's on paper. It's a great way of changing mindsets, affirmations. So in terms of the worksheet, you can either complete it looking forward, so you could say, okay, these are the things that I want to do onto each of these categories, and then just review it each day and just almost tick off, yep, great, I can say that today I did this in terms of diet, this in terms of exercise, this in terms of de-stressing. Or you might opt to actually just at the end of each day write one thing down that you've done under each category, or even if it's just one thing under one category, at least you're telling yourself that you're doing what you can that is within your control to help your baby and to help the healthy development of your baby. And the more that you can do things like that, as well as practicing, you'll see lots in the videos that are coming up, there's lots and lots of things that you can be doing that can be distracting your mind away from your worries and concerns, and getting you excited about being a mum, believe it or not, excited about the birth, and excited about the journey, the actual pregnancy journey. So not just seeing it, as I say, it's not, it's a journey, not a destination. It's actually enjoying your experience of being pregnant. So So yeah, look out for more tips in the videos, but as I said, thinking about what you can control, what you can influence, and what you need to accept. Spend a few minutes writing your thoughts down on the worksheet and putting ideas from your head down on paper. It is a great way of committing yourself to something as well. So that's my top tip for today. If you need any more advice, please put some comments, maybe comment on the box, you know, what are some of the things that are worrying you, how you're feeling about things. Again, as I said, that number is really good, and we'll kind of gauge that number as we go along and see what progress people are having. But yeah, happy filling in of your sheet, and whether it's the start or the end of your day, hope that you enjoy the rest of it, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.